chat up. Send the tweet out to our millions of fans. Millions.
Refresh this across the world.
That's what it is. It's every time we try to refresh, it has to go all the way around the world for it to completely go.
It takes a while. It takes a while.
People are going to watch these videos and be like, do these guys know they went live and then they just sit there and talk to each other for a while? Is that what this is?
That's how it works, man. Let me check my crypto before we get on here real quick. Make sure I don't have to make any additional transactions.
Get on the crypto. Bill, are you on the crypto? You on the cryptocurrency?
Got
all right.
Bill on there.
So we got Ricardo. Bill, can you hear us? Bill. Bill. Does he have no audio? Bill.
Hey, this is good because we at least have 2 people on here. You know what I mean? So.
Hopefully he's got his phone on him.
I know, right? Start texting.
Can you hear me?
You got me, right, Timmy?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
All right.
Bill can't hear anything.
Waiting on some people to get on here with us. See it. Man, got some good stuff for today, bud.
I see him smiling.
I'm excited about today. Got some breaking news that happened just recently.
Hey, Bill, can you hear us?
I like it. You know what? Maybe when he minimized his grid fan, maybe.
What up, Rob?
Yeah, Rob. Let me check that GRT.
I'm wondering if he needs the headphones.
Yeah, you can kick it to him. We can kick it to him. Got the people joining us here, Timmy. They're coming on.
Well, we're here. We got Wild Bill with us. We're trying to get him in here with the audio. We got the video up. It's running. He's kind of open mouth breathing right now. Looking good, though.
Uh-oh. There we go.
He's making the move.
He is making the move to the headphones. He looks like Ricky D early on in the process.
Wonder if he's going to need to redo his...
Get ready.
There he goes. He's getting him.
Ooh, we got some football talk today. We got a little bit of everything today. I'm excited for it.
His mic's not working either.
I'm excited for Timmy and his guys.
Might have to get him on the old cellular phone.
On the celly. Oh, he's coming on. Let him hook up there. Make sure he switches over.
Let's see if he can hear us. If he can hear us, he should stick his thumb up. Give us a thumbs up if he can hear us. Okay.
Yeah, but
so we just can't hear you now.
On, so
he's got him in. He's got the buds in. How about now?
There he is.
Is that Bill?
You got me now?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
that's way better.
He is. There he is.
This idiot didn't plug his headphones in. That's why we couldn't hear him.
Oh, it's on my phone now. They're so good. How
All
about
right.
them Tampa Bay Buccaneers, baby?
So what
Let's
are we
go with that.
We're on episode 13, special guest. Bill, what do you want us to call you for forever now? Is it Wild Bill? Is it Dollar Bill? What are we going to refer to you as?
Timmy, because you started the dollar bill, and now your daughter calls me Dollar Bill.
That's true.
So
it's Dollar Bill forever because he's money.
That's right, baby.
Okay, so we got Dollar Bill in here, guys. If you guys don't know Bill, if you think that we know what we're doing, this guy is on another level on the YouTube, on the Instagram. His stuff is on the up and up tenfold compared to ours. He's actually coached us a lot on Instagram and how to get a little bit more views and how to get stuff going. He is a master fisherman, a master huntsman. He is a hardcore sports fanatic. He is a rep for KingKraken.com. I didn't even wear the shirt tonight. I didn't even think about it. But there it is right there.
We got the red and black on.
The red and black King Kraken. And tonight we are talking sports. Ricky D, what do we got first, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today's rundown. First of all, welcome to Dollar Bill. Appreciate him coming on with us, man. And hopefully it's the first of many. And today we're actually going to hit up. We do have some breaking news today. Just before we came on, Dak Prescott has a new deal. Timmy, we're going to get Timmy's reaction on that.
Oh, there's my reaction right there, baby.
We're going to go ahead and run it back and see what it was like with that All-Star game last night for the NBA. We got a topic that we're going to touch on just overall last 20 years of sports. Want to get some feedback on, see what you guys are thinking. New segment, brilliant or dumb. We're going to throw something out there at you guys. I want to see what you guys are thinking of it. And then we'll talk some NFL because there's a couple other things other than Dak Prescott, who's going to take most of that time up. But there is some other things I want to hit you guys up on. And then a sideliner's opinion. If we have one, maybe Dollar Bill has something for us. Maybe Timmy has something for us. Or maybe somebody out there in the chat has something for us. So we are going we have a kind of a jam-packed little show here for us. So we'll see how it goes. Added the new member on there, so hopefully our audio and everything works like it needs to. So right off the bat, fellas, that NBA All-Star game, it was garbage. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What you think?
Bill, I'm going to let you go ahead. I don't know. I doubt you. I might have watched more than you did, and I watched about 6 minutes of it. So
you watched way more than I did. I didn't watch any of it, and it. Other than it, them donating to charity and things like that, that's great. But I mean, it's just basically, Globetrotters game where everybody's just throwing the ball up, dunking, reverse, more like the baseball All-Star game where it's worth something. I've said that, before. It needs to be worth something. They're playing in the middle of the season. It's not like the NFL where you're playing at the end of the season. It needs to be worth something at the end of the year come playoff time.
I gotta agree with that. Here's the fact that the spread on this, the total points was 319.5. They hit it at 320, so they actually get the over by half a point. But 170 to 150. The only bright shining spot I thought that was really nice was a Giannis shot 16 for 16. There was zero defense played in this game. It was, I don't know. Yeah, it was like watching an and one game or like a Harlem Globetrotter game where let's just see who can score, who can do the coolest stuff. But I was not impressed. I haven't been impressed by an NBA All-Star game in a very long time. I'm not a fan of the way they do it now. And that's end of story for me. What do you got, Rick?
Well, I give them A for effort as far as trying to make it so that it is worth something, right? So they put up some money on the line for some charities or some schools last night, basically making it so that these guys are a little bit more competitive on, at the end of every quarter, right? Instead of letting the game get out of hand where one team is up by like 100, they try to make it so that these guys were staying somewhat competitive. I thought last year the ending of it, was a little bit was somewhat exciting. Truthfully, I fell asleep right after halftime. I mean, I just went to bed. I was not as interested. I was more interested in some of the stuff that happens, like I do most of the years, where I'm interested more in the stuff that happens before the game, meaning all 3-point contest, skills challenge, things like that. For me, hands down, the most exciting part of the whole All-Star experience was the 3-point contest, right? And you have Steph Curry pulling off the win on the last shot, beats out Mike Conley Jr. That to me was the most exciting part. The game itself was
Ricky. He banked the shot right before the money ball. He banked that one in from the side.
That's impressive.
Well, that just shows you how good the guy is, for crying out loud. But that was pretty much the exciting part of it. The dunk contest Sweet baby Jesus. I don't even know, man. First of all, does anybody know any of the guys that were on the floor doing the dunk contest?
The guy that won,
except their mamas know.
The guy that won didn't even do anything. Like, they're like, oh, he kissed the rim. He didn't even touch it. He was like 6 inches away from it. He basically jumped up and dunked it. I'm like, how is that anything better than Aaron Gordon was robbed of 2 dunk contests, and this is plain and simple proof.
Let's not even talk about that.
Yeah. My man jumps over Taco Fall. Taco freaking Fall. All right. And gets nothing for it. All right. Dwayne Wade is a clown and gets him the loss there. He goes over stuff on a hoverboard, spinning around, and doesn't get anything for it. This clown is out here jumping, acting like he's kissing a rim.
He blows a kiss at the rim.
I mean, the other guy at least jumped over his papa. You know what I mean? He brought out his dad out there, goes ahead and jumps over him.
I would never dunk over. You know what? If I tried to dunk over my dad, he'd take my legs out from underneath me.
Hey, you know what? That would be more exciting than the crap that these guys put together last night. I'm going to tell you.
Slip a diamond underneath your foot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Man, it was just it's just not exciting this game. And a lot of the guys, LeBron before the game said he was not interested really in the game. I think his performance last night kind of showed that. I think we had 4 or 6 points, something like that.
Yeah.
Probably the least amount of points that he's ever put up. It just wasn't that exciting to watch. But so with that, I'll actually ask you guys this, because I mean, really, there's not a whole lot to talk about as far as the All-Star game. But I will ask you this. In your opinion, which one of the All-Star games is the best All-Star game? I know that we all agree that yesterday was garbage, and in general, the game is somewhat garbage. Which one? I have one that I believe is the best. What are your guys' thoughts on which one is the best of the major sports, the baseballs, the hockey, the football, basketball? Which one do you guys think is the best All-Star game that's actually fun to watch and somewhat competitive?
That's all you, Bill.
I think for me, as being a baseball fan, the baseball, I mean, you can't. It's worth something to these guys. They're going out there. They're going at their best. You got the best pitchers against the best hitters. They're giving their best stuff. They're talking trash in between each other too, but it's for something at the end of the year. You're playing for home field advantage in the World Series. I mean, it's worth something. And with these other games, they're not worth anything. So even the NHL is kind of an exhibition match. It's really nothing crazy. You got guys slinging the, Cooch, can swing it around between his legs and goes in, in the 5-hole, and some of these goalies just faking them out. But it's more of an exhibition. Baseball is probably the purest game played today. It's not the most watched. The NFL obviously is the most watched, but baseball is probably the purest of all the major league sports. Well, I shouldn't say that. In regards to the way that they take to the field every day and give their all. Hockey is, we can talk, whatever, but hockey and I think the baseball All-Star game is the best.
Yeah, I gotta agree, man. There's something about the purity of baseball, man, and you do have guys out there that are making hundreds of millions of dollars, but at the end of the day, baseball is one of the weird sports where it's a team game, but almost everything you do is individual. It's your responsibility to hit. It's your responsibility to catch, to make the right decisions, and it's a different kind. And again, they have a reason to play hard. They have a reason to win, and to me, that means everything, because I think the three of us can agree that there's a purity in sports, and there's a sanctity in each game, and when you start to lose that, people start to kind of lose respect for the sport. And baseball is still the purest sport out there, I think, because soccer's not a sport.
Well, I agree. I agree with you guys, and I knew that you guys were going to go on to that, just because I think it's the easy answer, right? And it's because it's the truth, Yeah. When you watch these guys, like Bill said, the best pitchers playing against the best hitters, and I think the game lends itself to being able to play hard even in an all-star setting. You know what I mean? Versus, the NBA, these guys are running around. It's more for show, and they can kind of do that. But at the end of the day, the competitive nature of it is not really there. The NFL, no GM in the league or owner wants to see their guy get laid out in an exhibition game. So those guys are not playing full go. In hockey, it's fun to watch, right? Because these guys are out there, they put up a bunch of goals and doing all kinds of crazy things in the ice, and that could be, somewhat fun. But I think in terms of competitiveness, and I think a little bit more fun to watch, it would be baseball. And it's weird to say because to me, I feel like baseball over the years has lost a little bit. People have kind of shied away from it or gone away from it because it gets a little boring.
Yeah.
Just to watch a regular game, right? I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan. I'll watch a Red Sox game, but I won't necessarily watch any other game. This year, I'm definitely going to have more of an effort to watch some of these other games. For Bill, I'm going to watch a little bit more of Atlanta. But, I'll watch a baseball all-star game. You know what I mean? Because you do have the best of the best in a game that lends itself to competitiveness in an all-star setting, if that makes any sense. These guys, a pitcher can go out there and throw the ball 100 if he wants to, because he's not going to necessarily, hit a guy unless he kind of loses it. But he's not going out there to hit a guy. He's going to try to strike him out. So you have the competitive nature of, I remember Pedro going out there when he was with the Red Sox and just like mowing guys down, staring them down, like Bill said, talking trash coming off the mound, and guys kind of taking it personal. And that's fun to watch, and like I said, in the NFL, I mean, you get these crazy scores and, these guys are running up at the quarterback and then they're pulling up and not even touching them. They're blowing the whistle. It's just like, what the hell are we watching here? So it's tough. I understand that it's tough because these guys do get paid a lot of money and nobody wants to watch their guy go down, like I said, in an exhibition game. So, yeah, I guess we all, it's boring for everybody to listen, but we all agree baseball would be the best one of all the all-star games.
Ricky, I would be remiss if I did not, as a golfer, did not mention either the President's Cup. The Ryder Cup is probably the better one. But guys get in the Ryder Cup, boy, the world is watching. I don't care if you play golf or not, and especially if Tiger Woods is playing. That right there, you want to watch some competition and these guys talking trash and getting the crowds hyped, whatever side they're, if they're on the U.S. soil, the U.S. people are talking trash, the European guys, it's crazy, man. If you've never watched a Ryder Cup, anybody that's out there that's watching this, the next, I can't remember if it's even years or odd years. But anyway, President's Cup is 1 year, Ryder Cup's the next year. But since we can't travel across the pond, those two competitions are unbelievable as far as golf is concerned.
Absolutely. I would agree with that 110%. I'm a golf fan, but so I have a little bias there. But let me tell you, man, that thing, watching the Ryder Cup is, especially, I mean, when it's as competitive as it is, you can feel the tension even through the screen on the TV when these guys are out there. It's awesome to watch.
The other game that we don't think too often about, but is still very pure, is the McDonald's All-American High School basketball game. That's another one where I think not a lot of people think about, but at the end of the day, man, there's been some big names that have played in that game, and those kids are playing for a reason. Those kids are trying to get noticed. I mean, granted, most of them already have scholarships and whatnot, but I mean, you're talking to the likes of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Chris Webber, Stackhouse, Kevin Garnett. I mean, these are guys that kind of had their time to shine. But I mean, you got guys like Jonathan Bender, who nobody knows. He's the all-time scoring leader in the McDonald's All-Star game with 31 points and 10 rebounds in a game. Who's that guy? I don't know. But you know what? He defined a moment for himself in that one game, and that's the McDonald's All-American game ain't nothing to sleep on, man.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they got to keep working on these. They got to keep working on these games. I think they have to try to figure out. Again, I give the NBA some credit for trying to at least. They try to make it competitive by saying, hey, listen, if you win a quarter, we're going to donate money. It doesn't always work out, but again, A for effort. I do want to roll into something here, into our next topic, actually, guys. And it's a question that I threw out to you guys a little earlier today to get you guys kind of thinking about it. But I was thinking about it earlier today about over the last 20 years of sports and where we are in sports in general, as far as have we seen the transition over the last 20 years from the beginning of the 2000s of what I guess people want to call, the old school game to what is now the modern game. And this is for all sports, just thinking about it, the way the game is played all across every single one of the major sports and all throughout sports in general. Have we had the opportunity to watch that transition? Like some, it happens all the time, right? Every so often a sport is going to change, but have we been witness over the last 20 years to the biggest transition in sports as far as how games are being played nowadays, from the hard, rough, tough, banging sports and across the board, even in NASCAR, Timmy, I'm a NASCAR fan, to the way it is now, where, no longer is it rubbing is racing. No longer can you beat a guy up. No longer can you have Jordan rules and start roughing guys up in the lane. No longer can you hit a quarterback or hit a guy across the middle. Everything is about, just hug everybody, kiss everybody. We're all friends here, blah, blah, blah. Have we witnessed that change over the last 20 years in sports?
So for sure. I remember, as a Bucks fan, watching John Lynch hit people that come across the middle and just absolutely obliterating them. He wasn't the biggest dude, but he put every ounce he had into that guy coming across the middle. And him, Rondé Barber, Ronnie Lott, those guys today, they'd be having 15-yard penalties thrown at them all day long, man.
Yeah, from a football aspect, and I know we always like to push on football, but going back, if we push back to the 20 years, is who is that guy that kind of that kept football at its peak, but also changed the game? And as much as I want to say it was Peyton Manning, to me, I think he changed the game where the game kind of went from rough and tough and running the ball a lot to being able to pass the ball effectively, but as changing the game, if you're going to get into it, I hate to say it, but I've got to say Tom Brady, because he is the one the Tom Brady rule changed football. Like, you can't touch the quarterback. And, so from a football aspect, I would have to give it to Tom Brady, with a special mention of Peyton Manning. When you talk basketball, obviously we're going to talk LeBron James. And then you start getting into a little bit more murky water. You might have to go back a little farther than 20 years when it comes to baseball or hockey. NASCAR, I would probably say Jeff Gordon. I think the Dale Earnhardt kind of passed the torch to Jeff Gordon when it comes to NASCAR. Jeff Gordon, was a California guy, great road racer, and he kind of made NASCAR a little bit bigger than it already was and opened it up to a different vibe. Tiger Woods, obviously. Now, my question to you guys, to you, Rick, would be, talking baseball and hockey, who are those guys? Because, it's a little harder with those sports, because it's kind of hard to change the game with those two games, because they don't, there's no real way. It's not like you can't hit people in hockey. Like, it's going to happen. But who are your guys that you could think of off the top of your head, baseball and hockey?
Well, for me, Tim, I think of it more in line of, and not just a particular player, right? So what I was thinking when I was thinking about this is how the game has changed. For example, in baseball, right? You no longer can plow a catcher, right? The rules have changed. Now, the catcher can't stand in there and take a hit. All the unwritten rules of baseball over the years, you don't see guys get hit by a pitch and then immediately after a guy comes over, the next. I mean, it still happens here and there, but it's not quite as dramatic as it once was. In hockey, and Bill's a big hockey fan. The fights are not quite there like they used to be, right? We just had over the weekend a guy from the Capitals that plowed into, I think it was Tom Wilson, that plowed it into Brandon Carlo from the Bruins. Carlo was slow to get up. He's now suspended for 8 games. 10 years ago, the guys on his bench would have celebrated it. The Bruin guy would have came over and punched the guy in the face and tried to pick a fight with him, and then it was over. Now we have an 8-game suspension.
Right.
We have a league that is shying away from from contact, a league that's built on contact is shying away from contact, much like the NFL. A league that's built on, the John Lynch's of the world, wearing the freaking thing on his neck because he's going to plow, like Bills had a guy coming up the middle. And now it's like, hey, don't hit the guy like that. You know what I mean? And that's where I think we've made the change in sports just in general, and going full circle with it. That's why you're seeing a lot more longevity now with some of these guys out there, the Tom Brady's of the world. You have Drew Brees out there at 42 years old. You have guys playing to a lot deeper into their career. LeBron James is 36, and in the NBA, 36, you're ancient.
Yeah.
Now you're going, when is LeBron James going to end? I mean, there's no end in sight with a guy. Why? Because the game is not quite as physical, combined, yes, with modern medicine and guys being in better shape and eating better. And, some of these things where back in the day in baseball, you go into the locker room and they were drinking beer, smoking cigarettes. Now those guys are completely away from all that stuff. So, yeah, that makes a difference. But I just think that the game in general has changed in such a way that it is it's just soft. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I was thinking about it today, you know what I mean? And they were talking about Bryson DeChambeau this weekend here locally with us. The Arnold Palmer Invitational was taking place. DeChambeau's out there hitting bombs, right? He's putting it over the lake on a par 5. I mean, this thing is like feet from the green. And everybody's like, wow, this guy is so big and so athletic and all this other stuff. It got me to thinking, yeah, the game has changed so much. I heard a conversation with Tiger dominate in today's game. And that's what kind of got me to thinking, did we go through that transition now where a guy from 20 years ago could dominate today and vice versa, right? I know that's a conversation that's always had, especially in the NBA, but just in general, when I think about sports, all of them, I think that we've become soft in all of them, right? Yeah, we want to keep people safe. Yeah, we want everybody to play as long as they can, and there is a lot of money involved. But at the end of the day, it's just soft, man. And I mean, I don't have any guys in particular. I mean, we've talked about the guys that have changed the game. We talked about Tiger Woods a couple weeks ago. You know how I feel about Jordan being the guy that changed the game from what it was to what it is now, kind of that bridge. But just in general, sports as a whole, to me, have made a change, and not necessarily for the good all the time, just soft, so that's really what I wanted to get your guys' thought on, is what you're thinking about the game back then to what it is now, and how one thing compares to the other.
I was just going to say, going back to, golf and baseball, when you're playing baseball, it hasn't gotten too soft. But Ricky, like you said, you can't run into the catchers anymore. There's little unwritten rules. You're going to get plunked if you're showboating a home run, things like that. That's going to happen. But as far as golf and baseball, those are two of the most individual sports. When the ball's hit to you, baseball, you got to make the play. When the ball's coming at you when you're hitting, you got to hit the ball. Golf, same thing. You got to hit the ball. You got to hit it where it needs to go. If you don't, you got to take your lumps. Every other sport, football, you can miss a block. Yeah, you may screw up the play, but you can miss the block and still maybe get a couple yards out of it. Basketball, same way. You can pass the ball around. You don't have to have the ball every single time. Baseball and golf are two of the only sports where you have to make the plays. And in that aspect, I don't think those sports have changed, at all as far as having to make the plays. There's a couple aspects of plays in the game where they become a little softer. But as far as actually playing the game, I think golf and baseball are two, like Timmy and I were saying, the purest sports where you have to make the play and you have to make the shot.
I'm in total agreement. I got nothing to say.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I watched NASCAR for a long time, and at the risk of losing some people with a little NASCAR talk, I when I first started watching NASCAR, yeah, it was Dale Earnhardt beating and banging, and he was the intimidator for a reason, because he would put you on the wall, he would spin you out, get the hell out of the way, I'm coming through. You know what I mean? Nowadays, there's racetracks where you can't touch a guy, or they'll black flag you, bring you in the pits, and say, hey, you need to stop for a lap. We're going to put you down, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. Again, I'm a big, obviously, Patriots fan. The Super Bowl when they played the Rams just a couple years ago, I remember one of the guys caught a ball down the middle. It was a short pass, and he's turning around, and they absolutely blitzed him. I mean, he was out, and it was a legal hit. Threw a flag on it, and I remember going, "Hey, I'm a Pats fan. I'll take it."
Yeah.
But then also looking at it, going, "Damn, guy did nothing wrong. I mean, what's he supposed to do?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy's turning around. He's there. He put his shoulder down, hit him square in the chest. It looked violent as hell, but it wasn't illegal. You know what I mean? And that's again, that's what I'm saying is we've just made this change over the years. Where is it necessarily good for the sport? Is it not? I mean, that's for everybody to have their own opinion, right? But I just feel again that I think overall you can see a very different sport across the board in terms of every sport. It's just not quite the same as it once was. So just kind of food for thought there. It's just something that I was kind of thinking of today on the drive, and wanted to get your guys' thought on it and see where it went.
I like it.
Good deal. Now I wanted to throw something new at you guys. It's called Brilliant or Dumb. All right,
No.
Brilliant or Dumb. And I'm going to throw something at you guys. I want you guys to let me know if it was brilliant on their behalf or dumb. And it actually kind of ties in. Today's International Women's Day. Shout out to all the ladies out there doing their thing. A big shout out to my wife, my girls, who are very strong women in their own right and doing their thing. So much appreciated. I love them very much. And that's that. But Burger King, the tweet said, "Women belong in the kitchen." End of tweet.
I'm gonna take this one.
What say you guys?
I'm gonna take this one because this is like a softball to me. So I
Timmy,
understand.
let me interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me interrupt you real quick because I gotta add a little more to it before people just go, anybody goes crazy on it. They did follow it up with a series of tweets that explained their tweet. All right, they didn't mean it quite the way that it came out, and this is where I want to ask you guys if it was brilliant or dumb. They followed it up with a series of tweets that said, hey, the kitchen, as far as chefs are concerned, is becoming male dominant. We're in a position where we want to bring the women and have equal opportunity for them to be chefs, and all that other good stuff. So they were kind of trying to spin it to, hey, it's not a knock on the women. It's not a sexist thing. We're just saying we need to create equality as far as chefs in the world of chefs. So again, brilliant or dumb? Timmy, did they succeed or did they crash and burn?
So from the aspect of getting attention, I think it was a brilliant tweet. Now it would have made more sense if they would have put the two tweets together, and it would have been a little less backlash. But here's the thing: people have this persona that women belong in the kitchen, and I get that the old way of thinking and this and that, but at the end of the day, the best chefs, and this is proven fact, this isn't me being misogynistic, the best chefs are men. For the last 2 decades, people have been talking about this, and you have all the chef shows and the Cooking Network and all these, who wants to be better at this and this and this, but when it comes to actual chefs in the kitchen, men are better. They've been pushing this dialogue for 2 decades that women need to get into the culinary arts. And here's the thing: most of the women that I see that are successful in pastry making or baking. They're not actually, they're not your picturesque like chef. So I don't understand from that aspect why they're pushing this now, like why they're choosing to do this now. Especially for Burger King. It's not like you have chefs at Burger King. So you're throwing some meat in the heater, and then you put it on a sandwich. You put it on some bread. This just makes no sense to me. It's not like I'm not going to go to Burger King anymore, but now I understand why Burger King is so low on my list, and they're full of idiots because stupid stuff like this. Like, is this why it takes so long? Because you don't have women in there, so I have to stand in line forever because you have men back there? No. Okay. This is the culinary arts is a gift. It is a talent that you have. You can learn to be good, but some people are just good at it. And majority of the good chefs in the world are men. That's all I'm going to say. I love women, but I don't think this is ever going to change. I don't think that number is going to go up.
Hold on, Timmy. I'm going the opposite way. I'm pulling a Ricky D on you.
I like it.
I don't agree. I think this is a brilliant marketing move. Look at all the attention. We're a small podcast. What are we talking about? We're talking about Burger King, baby. That's what they want. They want you to talk about it. Now whether they did it on purpose or not, that's the whole thing. You don't know. Like here in Central Florida, we have Dr. Filatowski now. It was Filatowski forever. And he told everybody, all his advertisers, to go to Toski instead of Towski. It's like, dude, it is what it is. But is it genius or is it dumb? So I think it was a genius move on Burger King's part. Now they're going to get some backlash for a little, but everybody's talking about them.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I think it's obviously it was on purpose. When your first tweet just reads, "Do women belong in the kitchen?" or "Women belong in the kitchen," clearly you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to get people to go, "What the hell?" You know what I mean? And then you want to follow it up with a series of tweets behind it to try to explain away what the hell you're talking about, right? So to Bill's, I will go with Bill and say, hey, yes, brilliant on the side of, in I guess in the any attention is good attention or whatever it is, any publicity is good publicity. Yes, nobody talks about Burger King anymore, right? But in terms of, was it brilliant or dumb? I don't know. To me, it's just kind of dumb, honestly. I look at it and I'm like, come on. It's International Women's Day. There's other ways for you to get out here and give it up for the women and get it all out there and make it do what it do. But to come out like that, man.
I want to see. I would love to see some cancel culture come out now. I want to see the feminists come out of the woodworks and attack Burger King.
Oh.
Okay, that's what I want to see. That would really get them the attention that they need. Is now, if we start talking about canceling Burger King, we're gonna find out how good the Whopper, the flame grilled patty, really is if they can survive that.
I love the way we always end up talking about food. So Tim, I'm gonna go once around real quick. Brilliant or dumb, Timmy? The tweet from Burger King.
Dumb.
Bill, brilliant or dumb? Burger King tweet. Brilliant. And I'm going to go with dumb. I'm sorry, Bill. You're the guest here today, but we are going to outweigh you on this one. I just, maybe we should have made that our hashtag. That ladder's opinion. But,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this brilliant or dumb? Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, man. Hey, good stuff there. The next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to hit up some football, even though it's not football season. It's what drives everything. Obviously, we have the big news of the day, which happened right before we came on. Dak Prescott is locked into the quarterback position with the Dallas Cowboys. Timmy was doing his little dance prior to coming on. He's obviously excited about it. Tim, take it away. What say you? 4 years, 160?
4 years, 160 million. 126 million guaranteed. Now, the pros to this. Does he deserve that money? I'm going to say yes, and I will tell you why. One, in 14 years, Tony Romo earned $125 million to the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott just got paid $126 million. And I will tell you why, okay? By the age of 27, Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, and Tony Romo, they were combined. By the time they turned 27, they threw 106 touchdown passes, okay? Combined. Do you know how many touchdown passes Dak Prescott has thrown at the age of 27? The exact same amount. So, I'm a stats guy. Does he deserve this money? 100%. Now, what worries me is how are we going to pay him and Zeke and still have a team? So what raises some eyebrows to me is this could mean the end of Zeke in Dallas. That's the only thing I'm throwing out there, because now you've got two massive contracts, and you've got a lot of guys on that team that have to get paid. So I would not be surprised if this was an exit strategy for Zeke, if they had something kind of working already on the back burner. Obviously, a lot of teams that are willing to pay for a running back, and you've got Aaron Jones out there who's going to be demanding a lot of money. Why not pay a little bit more and get Zeke? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Zeke leave.
Okay. All right. Bill, what you got, bud?
I'm with you on that, man. If you throw that much money at Dak Prescott, somebody's going to have to break off because they want to get paid. Everybody wants to get paid. I was listening to Pat McAfee. You guys probably know he's got a podcast and on YouTube, blah, 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 his own show. And he was talking about OBJ coming to the Bucs and Chris Godwin, getting paid. Everybody wants to get paid. And, having two heavyweights at wide receiver like that, trying to pay both of them is going to be next to impossible. So it's crazy, man. You're probably going to get one and lose another. So I think Tim's right. He's on the right track. I think Zeke might be on the way out.
22% of their cap space.
Well, so let's unfortunately we have to take a page to learn, folks, from the masters of building a team and the New England Patriots and what they did with Tom Brady for years. Yes, you can cry and bitch and whine all you want about Tom Brady and his contracts, but ultimately when you have a team-friendly deal and you can pay some guys, even though they never did have the super all-stars, you can spread it around and create a team. Ultimately, right now, what you're doing, if you're Dallas, you are paying one guy to a guy that's hurt, and you're banking on him coming back 100%, which is a gamble. You're banking on him coming back and being the guy that he was before, and do the things that he was. Now, I like your take. There, Timmy, on possibly having something in the works for Zeke. I'm not the biggest fan of Ezekiel Elliott. I think that very early in his career, he's already kind of lost a little bit. I'm not sure quite why, but he's just not the same guy. Now, it can also be that he doesn't have Dak Prescott back there to kind of take some pressure off of what he does. That remains to be seen, I guess. But I like your take on them possibly having something in the works, and we'll see how that rolls. I think you've called a couple of things here and there in the recent past with some moves that were going to happen. So interesting to see if that happens. But it's also interesting, and Bill, Tom Brady is now talking with the Bucs about restructuring his deal, much like he did with the Patriots. It's interesting that a guy that just won a Super Bowl, still playing at a high level at the age of 43, is still talking about restructuring deals to stay competitive and win championships. And there's the Dallas Cowboys dishing out a crap ton of money to a guy when they have done jack crap over the last whatever amount of years. I mean, again, there's a winning formula. You have to build a team, especially in the NFL. And when you give that much money to a guy like that, a quarterback, and now that's been hurt, and a running back that can no longer run, I think it spells disaster, if you ask me. It's just not a good look. I like Dak. I haven't always liked Dak, but I wish that he comes back healthy and can do his thing. I just don't know. I think they have some stuff to address there. It's just
well, and the other thing you got to keep in mind is Dak Prescott averages a touchdown every 10 runs. So he's fourth all time in rushing touchdowns in his first 3 years, but he's only rushed the ball 189 times those first 3 years, and he averages a touchdown every 10 runs. So you look at the numbers with Cam Newton. He had 28 touchdowns on 365 rushes. Josh Allen, 25 touchdowns on 300 attempts. But those numbers there show again that he is mobile, but he doesn't have to be mobile. And I think Zeke takes a lot of that off his plate. But at the end of the day, too, now we're seeing this giant contract. Can you imagine Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen right now? Like, they have got to be drooling on themselves knowing that you just paid Dak Prescott that much, and I just almost made it to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Buffalo's going to do and what Baltimore's going to do with those two guys.
Man, look at the numbers. You got Patrick Mahomes, $45 million a year, Dak Prescott, $40 million a year, Deshaun Watson at $39, and Russell Wilson at $35. And yet, a 43-year-old quarterback who's willing to take less money is still winning Super Bowls. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I wanted to give a shout out to Rob MC 412. He was talking about Pollard. He was a beast for me because I had him backing up Zeke. He was an absolute beast in fantasy. And I think he is just as good, maybe better than Zeke, because all Zeke does is get hurt. And I was also thinking about not Cam Akers, the other FSU running back, Dalvin Cook.
Oh, Dalvin Cook.
You know, he gets hurt, man, but when he's on the field, bro, he will break one off and he'll be gone.
He's one of the best.
He'll be gone. And it's just one of those things where I think, like you said, you keep Pollard, beef up the D, and let it ride, man, and see what happens.
Timmy, what's the one thing I always tell you about running backs? You don't do what?
Pay them.
That's right. You don't pay. I'm sorry. Running backs. That's what I said, right?
Yeah.
You don't pay running backs. They paid Zeke. It was a mistake. And that's why this deal now, like what you were saying, Tim, looks like so kind of, is it good or is it not? The only reason we're questioning it is because you've already paid a guy, right? You paid Zeke. So if that big number wasn't there on your cap, we'd probably be looking at this a little bit different. At least for me, I'd be looking at it a little bit different. But hey, it's an owner that wants to be the GM who's consistently made mistakes. And with that, I'll roll right into the next owner who's trying to play GM and is making a mistake. Jeff Lurie is telling the Eagles, we're building around Jalen Hurts. Do not bring a quarterback to compete with him. Bring guys for him to play with. This is a mistake. Going back a little bit to brilliant or dumb, definitely dumb.
He's like, this is a mistake.
Yes. Do not come in here and try to play GM. You stay in your owner's box. You pay somebody good money to be the GM. Let them be the GM, all right? Did you see enough from Jalen Hurts last year to say that this guy should, hands down, be the starting quarterback for the Eagles?
I saw enough from him to know that he should not be the starting quarterback for the Eagles, if that makes any sense. I mean, first off, I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm a Cowboys fan, so naturally I have to hate the Eagles. But when they were on their run and they went up against Tom Brady, I got to admit, I rooted for them because I hate Tom Brady way more than that. But now it's like their team, like there's been such a fall from grace now, and now it's like, I get it. Like Carson Wentz was an injury problem, you had to get rid of him. I get it, but there are options out there that are way better than Jalen Hurts, and why you're not making any moves to try and acquire these guys, I don't know. Like, go get Russell Wilson. Like, what? You're telling me you're not going to make a move for Russell Wilson, who doesn't even want to be in Seattle, and you move him to Philly, you're instantly a playoff contender, if not a Super Bowl contender. I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you got, Bill? What do you got?
Man, you know what? I agree with you. I don't think Wentz Hurts has shown that he can take a team, put them on his back, and run down the field and score touchdowns at will. It's just one of those things where, man, Hurts is better than Hurts. So I would keep Hurts over Hurts all day long. So that's my take on the Eagles at this point. And like you said, yeah, go for somebody who's out there that doesn't want to be anywhere. I don't get it, man. It's, you got a guy, what was he? He was their first round pick, 2 years ago? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you know what? You rolled the dice. It didn't work out for you. So, let's look somewhere else.
Well, I'll say this. I think I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, they've had some injuries. They had Alshon Jeffrey's going to get on the field. Their rookie running back, Sanders, who, believe me, I know because I had him on my fantasy team, couldn't stay on the field. So, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think it was a mistake getting rid of Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz still had something left. I think their biggest problem with Carson Wentz was that their offensive coordinator left and became the head coach of the Colts. And I think their biggest problem was their head coach who's no longer there, right? So you were giving him a fresh start in that sense. The mistake with them all along was just to draft Jalen Hurts to begin with, right? You caused this issue for yourself by drafting the guy. What you should have done was use that draft, position that you had and picked up a guy that was really going to help your quarterback, right? The guy that you thought is seeing ghosts, that needs some help, then give him some damn help. Don't go out there and bring a guy that's going to compete and cause him to be more unsure of himself, right? So you cause this issue for yourself. But again, if you're the owner of the team, stay in the owner's box. You're paying guys to make these decisions that have or are supposed to have football knowledge. Let them be the ones to make these decisions. As far as I did want to touch on Zach Ertz, because he wants out. The team has already agreed that they're going to part ways, and they're willing to move him to a contending team, which is what he wants to do. The question is, how willing are you going to be as a team now that you've put this out there and your leverage is way down? How willing are you going to be if a team comes calling and says, hey, we'll give you, a third-round pick for Zach Ertz? And Zach Ertz says, yeah, but I don't want to go there, right? Because that's the agreement that they kind of have is, we'll part ways, but I want to have control. Me, Zach Ertz, I want to have control of where I go. Does that work? I mean, can that work for both sides? If you're the Eagles, are you going to get equal value for a guy, leaving your team if he's trying to control where he wants to go?
Well, I think it really depends on how bad he wants to get out. Obviously, nobody doesn't want to go to a contender unless you're Deshaun Watson, obviously, where you don't care where you go. But there's so many teams now that are contenders that I think the options won't be that bad for him. I know we talk about it where there's a couple teams where they're just a few positions away from being a playoff contender. They're a few positions away from being a Super Bowl contender. But finding a team too that's going to utilize Zach Ertz the way that Zach Ertz should be utilized, because Zach Ertz, in my mind, is an elite level tight end. He's an elite level fantasy contender guy that's within the likes of Darren Waller and Travis Kelce and these guys, where he can go up and get the ball, he can take the hits, he can do what he needs to do, and you haven't seen him doing that in Philly lately, and it's not his fault. And for him to want to go to a team that will utilize him that way, and I think that's the big thing, is he's got to look historically at a team that's got an offensive coordinator that likes to utilize the tight end not only for blocking but for a lot of passing, where this guy he should be getting 70, 80 receptions a year, no question. That's the team he needs to go to.
What about Zach Ertz to the Colts? You have their head coach was the offensive coordinator that won you a Super Bowl, and now you have the quarterback that was throwing the ball to him when he was having an MVP year, and that year that they went to the Super Bowl. How about Zach Ertz to the Indianapolis Colts? How about that?
What do you think, Bill?
I think that's a great move. I was trying to think who needs another little piece.
Dallas
to get them over the hump. Well, Dallas needs a bunch of pieces, but we'll leave that alone. But the Colts definitely need somebody else who can catch the ball, block, get the running game moving for them, because they're, like you said, they're one of those teams, a couple pieces away, man. They're going to be going pretty far, and I think that's probably a pretty good piece for them.
What about Discount Double Check over there in Green Bay? Doesn't he need I know Tanyan had a pretty good year, and Timmy and I talked about him because it seemed like the tight ends were breaking out a little bit this year with our boy Darren Waller leading the charge. But wouldn't a guy like Zach Ertz be good for an Aaron Rodgers over there to help Devontae Adams, potentially losing a guy like Aaron Jones? Wouldn't that be a guy that would fit kind of nicely into that team?
Well, I think if you take any of your standard pocket quarterbacks, those are the guys where you're going to blossom. Unfortunately, I don't think he's a good move to the Colts, because I think Jacoby Brissett's going to end up being the quarterback there, because Carson Wentz is going to get hurt again. So that's my prediction on that. Green Bay has notoriously always utilized their tight end. I still don't think he's going to be getting the 70, 80 receptions that he should be getting. I think he needs a quarterback that likes to check down, that likes to kind of play that over the top spot. Unfortunately, where the best tight ends are is where ideally he would want to go. But you look at the Colts, they haven't had a tight end since I don't even remember who their Dallas Clark was probably their last decent tight end. Yeah. You look at Dallas where with Witten gone now, there's really no safety blanket in Dallas. You look in Tampa's pretty much taken care of. Miami's a crapshoot right now. You don't know what they're gonna do. They need to figure out who they are before they figure out what tight end they're gonna have. Jacksonville's another solid option where Jacksonville throughout history has always had a pretty decent big tight ends that can go up and get the ball. And I think Jacksonville would be a great spot for Zach Ertz to go to. One, because the colors of his jersey wouldn't change a whole lot. Plus, now he's moving down to Freakville and Duval, and he can do a little work down there.
That's actually a very good call, Tim. And they always say that the best friend of a very young quarterback is a tight end, right, where he can check down.
That's
so
it.
It'd be either a guy that can come out of the backfield and catch the ball time and time again, take pressure off a young quarterback, and you're going to have that in a guy like Trevor Lawrence coming in. As much of a prodigy as people want to call him, he's going to have his lumps and bruises as a young guy trying to learn the NFL. With that said, a good call on that. I like what Rob is saying in the chat. The cards. You go make a move right now for a guy like J.J. Watt. You have a pretty good defense. You have a good running, young, athletic quarterback that can get around and move around and extend plays. You have a hell of a wide receiver in Hopkins. All of a sudden, you throw in
Larry
a tight
Fitzgerald,
end.
don't forget.
The ageless wonder that is Larry Fitzgerald. You throw a guy in there like Zach Ertz. Can definitely be can make some plays for them. I mean, that's a hell of a call. I like that. I mean, don't sleep on that.
So we agree he's either going East Coast or West Coast.
Yeah, or somewhere in the middle.
Or somewhere in the middle, yeah.
There we go.
But not the Jets.
No, not the Jets. I don't think anybody wants to go to the Jets other than Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Hey, interesting note on my Pats. I hear that they're the front runner for Jimmy G. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I heard that too, man. That's their plan A is Jimmy G. That's what I heard, baby. Better watch out. He's going to come back. Well, I mean, when he was in there for Tom, when Tom got suspended for 4 games, then he won all 4 of those games,
Cheating.
didn't he? Well, so
listen, he showed you he could play with inflated or deflated balls, okay? Whatever you want to call it. The man is a G. So, I mean, say what you want.
I think that's a good move for I mean, honestly, any move New England makes right now would be a better move than what they have. There's so much talk right now, and I love it, but I just want some of these moves to start being made. Like, I hate not knowing. Like, let's make a big move. Like, the NFL should have a goal every couple weeks. Like, let's have one of these big moves and let's make it happen so we can keep the NFL relevant the entire offseason, because right now it's a lot of, hey, they might do this, they might do that. But it's rough because, is Jimmy G gonna win them a Super Bowl at the end of the day? And the answer is no.
Hell yeah.
I'm just saying.
Listen, good-looking quarterbacks in New England tend to work. All right, so that's all I'm going to say. All right, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Hey, talking about trades and some moves happening, I am going to spin it back to the NBA. What are your thoughts on Blake Griffin, the newest member of the New Jersey Nets, or the Brooklyn Nets? My bad.
I don't get
Brooklyn
how
Nets.
he signed for like the league minimum or something, didn't he? Like, it was.
They give him some free gear, and they're just gonna give him rides back and forth, Uber rides to the arena.
Gave him a scooter and some hats, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come play for us?" It reminds me of
Come on over, bud.
It reminds me of that kid from Little Giants when he's riding on the little horse at the grocery store, and the guy's like, "You like football? No. You want to play football? No. Well, you can come play for us." Like, that's Blake Griffin now. He's the kid on the horse from Little Giants.
I think you're underselling Blake Griffin a little bit. I think he still has just enough to help a team like that. Yeah, and then an interesting one locally here as a Magic fan, Victor Oladipo is out there to be had. Would you not like to see Victor Oladipo back with the Magic?
I would love to see Oladipo come back. I don't know why we got rid of him the first time. I think you and I discussed this before we were even doing the podcast when he was in Orlando and he was leaving, was we knew he's gonna be better when he leaves Orlando, and he left Orlando and became a great player. And I just Orlando is the farm league for the NBA, and as much as I hate to say it, I'd love to see Oladipo come back. I think it's gonna energize Orlando about basketball, Because it's not even, that he has to be playing at an elite level. It's just like, he's coming home. You know what I mean? It would be awesome to see. I'd love to see Oladipo come back.
Yeah. Bill, you a big basketball fan there, Bill?
I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I agree with Tim that, coming back home. I heard another trade rumor about them packaging up Gordon and a couple other guys and sending them off for like one, star player to rebuild like they've been doing for the past 20 years. So I'm just like, like you said, I mean, the Magic are the farm league. I mean, we send guys out and they magically just get better. That's why I haven't seriously watched basketball for a while. I probably stopped watching in the early 2000s, and that was when the transition of the you touch them on the pinky, they get a foul, and that's what the game has come to now. It's you got to shoot 3 points, you got to get away from everybody, and that's why everybody's shooting 3-point, because you can't battle inside and bang bodies anymore. So I mean, it is what it is, but I think Oladipo coming back home would be a good thing for Orlando for sure.
I think it'd be a great move for the Magic. If you think about it, you package up a guy like Aaron Gordon, who's been banged up, who hasn't been able to kind of unlock his potential and whatever potential is there, right? So we may see another situation where 5 years from now, we're looking at Aaron Gordon saying, damn it, we had that guy on our fucking bench, excuse my French, and we couldn't get him, to play to that level. But you package a guy like that up with a guy like Evan Fournier, who can be very, very frustrating to watch, hot, cold nights. When he's got it going, it's like feed him. And then there's other nights where you can stand them on the beach and say, throw the damn ball in the ocean. He can't. Yeah. So you package a couple guys like that up. You send them out to Houston. You pick up a guy like Oladipo, who's an expiring contract, can teach your young guys, even though they're not on the floor right now, but they're still around the team, how to be superstars, right? Because I think the Magic are banking on Markelle Fultz. They're banking on Jonathan Isaac. They're banking on Chuma Okeke to become players in the league, but they're going to need that veteran presence to show them how to be pros. And Tim and I have talked about this, where I'm a big believer that Victor Oladipo became a star because he played with Russell Westbrook, right? And people want to say, oh, we should have kept him. He would have became that guy. No, he wouldn't. If he would have been in Orlando, he would still be the same Victor Oladipo. Yeah, he would have gotten a little bit better over the years, but he would still be the same guy. He is the Victor Oladipo that we see now and that we're talking about trying to get back because he played with stars elsewhere, right? We unfortunately as an organization here in Orlando don't have that kind of cachet to bring those guys in. We have to trade for those guys. So what you do is you draft a young guy, you bring in that veteran leadership to try to mold those guys into something, and then you hope and pray to God that you can re-sign them and keep them, right? That's the next step. But I think that we're headed there as an organization. If it doesn't work out, because I did hear that he wants to sign with the Heat, if after the season's over he goes to the Heat, guess what? Now you don't have the Evan Fournier money. Now you don't have the Aaron Gordon money. Now you have cap space to go out there and sign whoever the heck you want. Now, if you decide that, hey, we want to go after a superstar, maybe you don't like Orlando for Orlando, but you like it for this green that we're about to throw your way, and you're going to come here, right? So I think it works for them to add a little excitement to the end of the year, teach these young guys how to become pros, and if it doesn't work with him trying to stay here, at least you cleared up cap space to now go after a guy that you can lock up long term.
Well, and I think that's the plan. I think with Fournier, with his contract ending, and I think with Aaron Gordon with 2 years left on his, that is very reasonable pay that he's getting. Those two guys, man, to be able to bring in a superstar and do kind of almost like what Toronto did, where you can bring in like a guy like Kawhi, not that Kawhi would come here, but a guy like Kawhi who is a superstar, bring him in for a year or maybe two, and make Mo Bamba the all-star that he really should be. Because at the end of the day, Mo Bamba is the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's Mo Bamba. I'm thinking more along the lines of Markelle Fultz and the Jonathan
Dwayne
Isaac.
Bacon and Mo Bamba.
Hey, there you go. Get some Mo Bamba in there with Dwayne Bacon. But it is what it is. I just want to, touch on this local team that we have here, and hopefully they do a little something and get the fans excited about the team again. So Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. Sideliners opinion, guys. Anybody got anything for us today? Anybody in the chat have an opinion, something that they're really just want to get off their chest and throw out there?
I've got something that you're probably not going to care about, and I'm just going to throw it out there anyways. But
it's okay.
I have a feeling that the Gonzaga Bulldogs are going to be going into the March Madness tournament undefeated, which hasn't been done too very many times.
Wow.
So that is my opinion that they are going to go into that tournament undefeated.
What do they have? One more game?
I think they have 2 or 3.
Do they?
I mean they're playing right now. They're winning. Because they're playing St. Mary's, and they should win that game.
Take care of business.
Yeah, they're up 34-22 right now. But
of business.
I know
so
that
we have March Madness coming up. Are we gonna do a bracket?
I was gonna say we were kind of segueing into that. I think we can maybe get a Sideline Sport Talk bracket going, and maybe I don't know, figure out how we can do it if people want to send them into us, or maybe make some predictions on Final Fours or something.
Whoa. Hold on, Tim. I don't know if Elrod is throwing some crap out there on the chat line or what, but did you read what he wrote?
What?
Owners of the Vikings.
Elrod, you need to come with something a little bit more, a little more information than just.
I'm gonna have to call. Hold on a second.
Leave it there.
I got some insiders in Orlando City. Let me shoot a text over real quick.
Really? I mean, I think I'm gonna have to push a text out to my contact over there too and see what they have to say about that, because I have not heard that. And if Elrod is just throwing some crap out there to see what sticks to the wall, he did a hell of a job. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's big time.
Goodness.
We'll definitely
dumb.
We'll definitely keep everyone abreast for that. Because,
brilliant or dumb. I like it, Bill. I like it.
Sideliner's opinion. I mean, that's brilliant. Well, here's the thing. My dad is a Minnesota Vikings fan, and my brother works for Orlando City. So, maybe it'll bring their bond together even more than it already is. Full circle.
I like it. Now he's got me Googling stuff,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
holy cow.
Yeah, so we do have March Madness coming up. So the good thing is that's going to give us some news to talk about, because as little as we talk about college basketball, people love talking about March Madness. It takes all of the, this is what I wish NCAA football had, because it would make people more interested in it, because nobody cares about college basketball until the tournament, and nobody cares about college football until the playoffs. The problem is there's only 4 teams in the playoffs instead of 64 teams in the tournament, or 32, or however many it is. So, but I'm excited for people to start seeing what I have been seeing in the Gonzaga Bulldogs. It is time for them to win a national championship. Okay, we're talking John Stockton's alma mater. Okay, the pasty gangsta, Adam Morrison. We're talking these guys, these great names, NBA players that came out of Gonzaga. These guys need a national championship. I want the Bulldogs to win one this year.
Whoa! Did you just say great names and Adam Morrison in the same sentence?
Yeah, man, he's a Bulldog, baby.
Holy cow! Other than a really bad stash, I don't know what he was known for. Okay, let me tell you.
He did,
at least in the NBA.
He looked kind of weird.
I will say this about March Madness, boys, and you can write this down. I think I don't know how there. What is there? Four number 1 seeds, right, Timmy? Is that what?
Yes.
They go,
yeah.
Because 64 teams, there's 4 number 1 seeds. I think there will only be 1 number 1 seed left in the Final Four, because if anybody's been watching, and I have been watching, I'm a huge FSU fan, and they've been at the highest of highs, the lowest of the lows. They fell on their face against Notre Dame, got their butts kicked, and it was horrible. But the talent level, and you guys probably can see this in most college sports, in football, a lot of times in baseball, not really too many people follow college baseball. I do, but in college basketball, dude, the talent level has, the top teams are not winning every single game, like you said, to me, being undefeated. That's tough. That's almost null and void now anymore. So I think there may not even be a number one seed in the Final Four.
There will. It's going to be
that.
Gonzaga.
I don't know. I think somebody's going to stumble. I think they're all going to stumble and fall, man. Somebody's going to come out of the woodwork. It's going to be a Cinderella story, baby.
Well,
Diaper Dan.
I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what the seedings end up to be. I'm curious to see if Texas Tech, how Texas Tech does. I know not too many people are familiar, but my boy Matt McClung plays for Texas Tech, who has been a long time. He was one of the top-rated players in the country in high school. Went to Georgetown for a little bit, transferred over to Texas Tech. This guy is awesome to watch. If you guys get a chance to check out any Texas Tech games, especially during the tournament, I really think this guy's going to shine. You're going to kind of see why he's been getting the hype that he's been getting that you guys haven't heard of. If that makes any sense.
Timmy, what's our boy doing? The one that we talked about a couple weeks ago that his dad had the crazy training sessions. What's he doing nowadays? Is he still doing this thing?
What was that guy's name? Who was that guy?
Man,
We're gonna have to go back.
He's not doing this thing.
We have to go back in the archives. Check that one out because I don't remember.
Let me read this to you. Let me read this to you guys real quick. I did find something on The Athletic about our local team here, the Orlando City soccer team. And basically it just said conversations between Orlando City majority owner Flavio Augusto da Silva and potential investors happened. And he is always willing to discuss the sale of shares of the club. But at this time, a change in majority ownership is not part of the club's immediate future. That's from a spokesperson within the club. So it looks like they've kind of kicked it around a little bit, but nothing for sure. But it definitely does mention that they have been in talks with the Will family, owners of the Minnesota Vikings, and it looks like they want to have some stake into an MLS team. Looks like they have some ties to Nashville SC, which is a new club to MLS. So kind of see what happens there. But that was news to me today, and I try to stay on the Orlando City stuff pretty good. But that definitely kind of came out of left field for me.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. It's always nice when a big name like that pops up as an owner because a lot of that money now that you own it, what can we do to make Orlando better than it is now that we own part of it? And you see that from stadium upgrades to the jumbotrons to all kinds of stuff. And it's going to be interesting to see, especially with COVID going on, is once they start implementing fans in there, how is the Vikings mentality, I guess, going to roll over into Orlando City. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited. Hopefully they don't change any staff, especially the groundskeepers, because, like my brother to keep his job. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. Or if you're going to take him in, he's going to have to move in with you. It does make sense, though. I mean, you got the purple, purple and gold. I mean, why not? I mean, it works. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. We'll have to hit up our boy Riley on it and see what his thoughts are on that. So, yeah, man. I mean, that's it. I mean, we kind of brought it full circle. I did want to give Bill a shot here to kind of talk about him, man. I mean, we didn't even give him an opportunity. We introduced him early on, but he, like you said, he's got his thing. He's a big fisherman. He's got his YouTube channel. He's on social, on Instagram. He's all over the place and does some good stuff. So, Bill, shout out whomever you want. Let us know what you do, how you do it. And, yeah, man, just give us a little update.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm a rep for KingKraken.com, King Kraken gear. I did bring another shirt, one of my favorites. It's called the Salvage Diver. And, Tim, you've probably seen this one on the website.
Yeah, that one's sweet.
The artwork and the detail on this thing is nasty, man. And the Triton King Kraken head on the back is pretty badass. So we got the shirts, and then we also have we call them the neck tubes, the buff, whatever you want to call them. But ours have a tail at the back to cover sublimation, so it'll never fade. The poly you can go and check out. Like Tim, if you got a Columbia shirt and you feel the poly that ours is made out of, and the Columbia shirt, what it's made out of, it's way better. Dan, he lives down the road. He's the owner, and I jumped on it as soon as he started. Jessica goes, "Hey, Dan's starting this website with fishing shirts on it." I'm like, "I'm in. you know. So, and I've been in ever since, man. So yeah, like Ricky was saying, I'm on Instagram at Bill_Sneed, and I basically just post my fishing pictures. So, and my biggest bass to this time is 7 pounds 11 ounces, and I caught that one about a month and a half ago, something like that. But yeah, man, I've caught some sixes, some fives. I just enjoy it, man. And anytime I can get out and wet the line, man, I'm all about it, baby.
Well, I know, Bill. You know, we discussed you know, the stuff that you get into, the being an outdoorsman, man. It is inspiring because you know we do kind of live in a world where a lot of the kids today they like to live indoors. And it's cool, you know, when we're able to promote stuff like this, and especially with King Kraken. I can attest, guys. I got a King Kraken shirt last week after I talked to Bill, um, and it is like I'm not just saying this to say it. Like, it is an extremely comfortable shirt. I mean, you can wear it outside. I worked in it all day inside. It's super comfortable. You guys use code WILDBILL. You get 10% off. You can even use the coupon. You can use the Wild Bill code on their stuff that's on sale, their clearance stuff. So I definitely recommend it. I mean, for $30, it's a shirt I would pay 50 or 60 bucks for if I was, you know, seriously getting into wanting to be out in the sun and on the boat and on the water all day. So I highly recommend it. Can't say enough about King Kraken. Make sure you guys follow Bill on Instagram. He posted a link there, and there's his YouTube channel too. Make sure you guys check him out. Like I said, his stuff is hands down just next level. And you know, Bill and I have been working together on how we can improve our channels and different little things and goals we're shooting for. And it's definitely starting to show on your stuff, man. And I know I haven't been able to tell you that, but we do notice it, and we appreciate it, you know, the support you've been giving the channel since we started. So thank you for that.
Not a problem, man. My pleasure.
Yeah, and Bill, thanks for being on here with us. Like I told Timmy, I said, hopefully the first of many. You know, it's not about just Tim and myself. It's about all of us. Like we mentioned every week, we're trying to create something where we can all get on here and chat, whether it be on the chat or bring people on. I mean, that's what it's about, right? We want to talk sports just the same way that we do if we were just hanging out and, you know, at a barbecue or something. We're on the sidelines, man, talking sports. So it's all we can do, and we try to hit up on a little bit of everything. I was just telling Tim earlier today, I mean, yeah, we are sideline sport talk, but we'll talk about just about anything. I mean, we've hit up food the last couple of weeks. We've hit up Burger King today. I mean, anything. I mean, shoot, I even thought about, you know, bringing up the freaking interview with Oprah yesterday with what's her name, the Duchess and all that crap, man, because that's all over the place, man. I mean, it's like, we'll talk about anything.
I'm gonna go with dumb on that one.
Show. Yes, not brilliant. So definitely. Thank you for coming on, Bill. Like Timmy said, check out the links on the chat there. Hit him up. Follow him, and we are 3 followers away from getting to 50 on here on Twitch. So let your friends know, let everybody know. My boy Rob is letting me know that I am making money with some cryptos right now, so I am happy about that. But check us out, like we say every week, at Talk Sideline on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram, Sideline Sport Talk. We do have the Facebook page, Sideline Sport Talk, as well. Hit us up all over the place. Follow us. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you guys are thinking. We're here for y'all. So, Bill, again, thank you. And it was awesome to have you on here, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Episode Lucky 13 with our special guest, Dollar Bill. Appreciate it as always, guys. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Bill, thanks again for being with us, and you guys keep your eyes focused on the horizon and your ears to the grindstone, and we will see you guys on the sideline.